So even though we were up until midnight to ring in the new year, I still woke up super early on New Year's Day. I usually get up somewhere between 5 and 6 and did make it a little closer to 6, but I was still up before the sun. So first things first, get the fire started. I got the Christmas tree turned on, and then of course making some delicious coffee. I thought before Nate got up to, it would be nice to surprise him with breakfast. So I decided to get the stuff together and set about to making some pancakes. I have this really great recipe from my mom called Light as a Feather Buttermilk Pancakes, and they are so good. Simple to make from ingredients that you have on hand. And they also call for buttermilk, but you can buy this powdered buttermilk that I always keep on hand. If you don't have this, you can also use regular milk and put a little bit of lemon or vinegar in the milk to sour it just a little bit, and it'll taste just like buttermilk, but this works great. You start out with a couple eggs and you need to just beat them until they are fluffy. So to add your buttermilk, you actually need to use the powder to mix up buttermilk and then add all of that. I know the first time that I did it with the powder, I just added the powder to the eggs and it didn't have enough liquid. So you definitely need to measure out the powder, add the water. We use a blender ball, and at this point Nate was up, so I just had him shaking it until all the powder was mixed in. We couldn't get all the water into the blender ball, which was fine. We just added the mixture then from the blender ball in with the remaining water to make sure we had 2 cups, and then all of that gets poured in with the eggs and mixed up together. So once you have your egg and buttermilk mixed together, it's time to add dry ingredients. This just calls for some basic things: flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and a little bit of sugar. You're going to want to stir it together to get everything incorporated, but make sure not to over mix it. You just want it so the dry ingredients are wet basically, but it's still going to be lumpy and kind of look a little strange. Then once it is all mixed together, like I said, it's still pretty lumpy, but just add 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter and give it one more mix. We have this electric griddle and I really like using it for pancakes, but if you don't have this, you can certainly just use a frying pan. I do have a ladle that I like to use to put the pancakes on the griddle. This one is Loch Ness Monster style. They have these on Amazon. It always makes me laugh, so I'll link that below. So I set the griddle to 350. I waited for it to heat up and then set to work in pouring out the pancakes. If you find that the batter's a little lumpy and doesn't spread very easily, feel free to add a little bit more water. I found a little treat too in the freezer today. I found some blueberries, so I decided to add those last minute just to, I guess, make these a little more fun for New Year's Day, and set to work getting the whole batch made. Even though there's only 2 of us and we'll only eat a couple of these, I like to make the whole batch up so that I can put them in the freezer because they freeze really, really well, and then you can just pop them in the toaster later on. All right, we are all ready to enjoy our pancakes. We had some maple syrup on hand. This is probably one of the best that I get from Costco, the Kirkland brand. And then it made a ton of pancakes. They look super yummy. Like I said, we will probably only eat a couple this morning, and then I'm gonna put them in individual baggies in the freezer, and we'll have those whenever we wanna take out and have a quick breakfast. So we really didn't have a lot planned for New Year's Day. Just a fun few little things we wanted to do. So I thought it'd be super nice to take a bath and do some relaxing. This candle was one that I had been to visit some relatives in Las Vegas, and they had this Glade vanilla candle that was so amazing, and I love lighting it. It reminds me of being there and just being with family every time I have it on. I get these bath bombs. They're Dr. Teal's. I get them just from our Walmart grocery pickup. And I decided today I was going to, maybe it should be part of a New Year's resolution, to use up some of the things that I have on hand. I picked this up at Ulta. I have not used it yet. I think it was on one of the stands up by the cash register. So I was excited to try a mask while I was in the bath. And then I also picked these up in the winter months. They're hand masks. They're basically like a plastic glove that has lotion inside. And I love wearing them when I'm in the bath because you can actually, once you put the glove on, put your hand in the hot water and it really helps it soak in, and it does wonders. They're amazing. So I thought I'd take a moment and show you some of the other things I use in the winter to help with dry skin. I was told by a dermatologist to not use anything on my skin but bar soap. So right now I'm loving this Rosemary Mint by Aveda. And then on my face, I use what was also recommended by a dermatologist. It's called Vanicream, and it's free of dyes and perfumes and all of that. And I have pretty sensitive skin, and it's really susceptible to being dry. I was told that liquid soap will dry out your skin faster than bar soap. So trying to stay ahead of that, I'm only using bar soap. And then for an all over body cream, I use this shea butter from the Body Shop, and I've been doing this for a few years now. It works really, really well for me. It is pretty spendy. These tubs, they do go on sale at Ulta, buy two, get one free. So I try to watch out for that, but I'll go through like seriously 5 of those in the winter or the colder months. And then new this year, I'm trying these new lip scrubs and lip balms from Rooted, and I'm really loving them so far. I got them off Grove Collaborative, and one is just a scrub. It's like an exfoliator that you put on and it gets all the dry skin off your lips. I'm trying to do that at least every other night before bed, just to slough off all that dead skin. And then it's really moisturizing just in itself. But then on top of that, you add this kind of lip balm. And even if I'm not doing the exfoliant, I'm adding the lip balm every night before I go to bed. And I've noticed a huge difference. I'm really liking that this year. And then also new this year, I'm trying this amlactin. I don't even know how you say that. But I picked this up also from Walmart just because I wanted something really intensive and therapeutic to put on my hands before I go to bed at night. So that one's been okay. And then I forgot to mention with the Vanicream on my face, I'm also using a light lotion. This does come a thicker cream, but I'm only using the light right now. That works pretty well for my skin. And then also on my face, I've been loving this vitamin C just as a brightener I've been using. So those are a few of the things. If you live in a colder climate, tell me what your tips and tricks are for staying ahead of the curve with the dry skin problem. So I thought I would continue to pamper myself today. I pulled out this tote. Firstly, the tote I love, I got from Target, and it's just the perfect size to hold all of my supplies for doing gel nails at home. A few years ago, I was gifted this UV LED light from Jamberry that works out really great. And then I did end up not really loving the Jamberry polishes as well as I like the lights, so I ordered some, and I just got a new kit that I hadn't even tried yet from Gelish. So I have got new, I guess it's a cleanser and then a soak off polish. I don't have any gels on now, so I won't need to use the soak off. And then I've used the kit before with the foundation and the top coat and everything, as well as this pH bond that works really great to kind of dry out and prep your nail before you put things on. But what was new and I hadn't had that came in this newest kit that I just got was also this Nourish, and it's like for your cuticles, so it's kind of an oil that you soak in. So I was excited to try that this time when I did some nail prep and shaping. And then of course standard comes, and I'll link the kit below, but you get a foundation as your base coat, and then to top it off, and all of these need to go to cure under the LED. I'm gonna do a French manicure today, and so for that I'm just using a color for the tip. I'm using Arctic Freeze for that. So I started off just by clipping and shaping my nails. I have really thin and dry, brittle nails, especially in the winter, so I really needed this. My cuticles were terrible. It had been quite a few weeks since I'd done anything, and I really enjoyed using the Nourish around the nail bed too. This was new for me, and I thought it really did a good job. So once everything was clean, I was ready to get started. I need to show you my secret weapon. I use Scotch tape. I'm sure they make something in the nail industry for this, but I always have trouble once I get the base coat done and I'm onto that white coat here. I kind of slowed it down so you could see. Try to get that tape around the cuticles because those get so dry up by my nail that I'll get the nail polish in there, and then if you get it under the UV lamp, it gets crusty and it starts to hurt before it comes off. So I use the Scotch tape just to keep everything neat and clean, but I do freehand the tip. I've been doing it for quite a few years. I used to use these nail guard things, and if I find them what I used to use, I'll link them below, but now I do an okay job, especially when I'm getting my left hand done. That turns out a lot better than my right hand, but I think they turn out okay, so let's get the other hand done. And I completely forgot to do this on the other hand, but I use this pH bond even after the nails are clean to make sure that all the oils and things are off and the polish adheres better. Right, so I'm all done. It took about an hour, but most of that time ends up being waiting for that UV lamp. So I came downstairs about 2:30 to find that Nate had gone out to one of our favorite restaurants that happened to be open today and got us some takeout. We love eating at Dino's, and I always get this salad. You just kind of do a build your own thing, and they put, I put gyro meat on it, and it's got onion and tomato, green pepper. I add feta, and then it comes with some tzatziki sauce, and I add an extra side. It is seriously my favorite food. I would almost eat this every day if I could. So after we got done with lunch, we went for a long walk and got back in and wanted something to warm up with. I had gotten these hot chocolate bombs. Somebody had handmade these for us for Christmas, and I was super excited to try them. It's like, if you don't know, a hot chocolate bomb, it's a sphere of chocolate, and in the middle is your hot cocoa mix and marshmallows and everything. So you just take the bomb or ball, whatever it is, drop it in the cup, and then when you pour hot milk over top of it, everything spills out and you mix it together and you have a really good treat. So the first one that we tried, I think, was a white chocolate with some peppermint. And I didn't think anything was going to happen at first as I was pouring this over. I was just like, oh, that wasn't really anything. And then all of a sudden it just exploded. And it was so cool because all these marshmallows float out to the surface. So there it goes. It was super fun just to watch, and I think these would be super fun for kids. I actually want to try to maybe even make them next year. I had not heard of them before, but I guess they were quite a thing, and somebody at work made them for a bunch of us, so it was a super cool gift, and the hot chocolate was really super yummy. right, so it's about 9 o'clock on New Year's Day. We are just sitting down to a very nutritious dinner of popcorn. It's been an interesting day. We've got a few things done, but the day just went so fast. I felt like as soon as I'd start one thing, it like 2-3 hours had passed, so it's been a little crazy. So I'm gonna end the vlog here, and hope you enjoyed it. I've got a lot more content coming. I'm gonna be taking down some Christmas decorations and getting the house reset, and then I've got a lot of cleaning, organize, and Valentine's Day stuff coming up. So make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the icon in the lower right hand corner. Just click on the little house or click on subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.